Hello, I am so glad to be here. My name is Kim Nave. I am a children and family therapist turned life coach. I coach homeschool moms who are working and help them to gain confidence in themselves as homeschoolers so that they know that they are giving their child the best education that they can. So, we do a lot of talk in my group about mindset and the importance of keeping your mindset on track and of just knowing where you're going, if that makes sense. So I'm actually doing a workshop in my group this week. It's called Embracing the Wonder Woman Within. And our first day was on something called Lassoing the Mindset. I am a huge Wonder Woman fan. I absolutely love Wonder Woman. I love the things that she stands for. And she has inspired me to do my workshop this week. And I have used different pieces of equipment. And so today's was on lassoing your mindset, on using the lasso of truth that Wonder Woman uses to keep your mindset, keep yourself thinking in a positive direction, and for, just helping yourself move forward instead of getting stuck in the garbage that we so easily get stuck in. So a lot of times we have goals that we have, as teachers, even though we homeschool our kids, we are still teachers, right? And I know that you guys as educators in the school systems have a whole lot more going on than we do. But as teachers, we have goals for the year, for the semester, for the year, for the week even, right? Hey, Marianne. And so what happens though when we're not reaching those goals? If you guys are at all like me, and I would imagine that you are, you get to that place where you start to feel discouraged and frustrated that you have set these goals for yourself and now they're just not happening. And so there must be something, for me, there must be something wrong with me. The reality is that we have to think accurately. And a lot of times when we're not reaching our goals, we really struggle with that. And it starts to affect how we see ourselves, which in turn starts to affect how we teach our kids. Whether we're teachers or homeschoolers or whatever, it does influence the way that we teach our kids. It influences the way that we interact with them even, right? So it's super important to keep our mindset in the right place and to make these, make adjustments to these goals. So I would love to hear from you guys. I love doing interactive stuff. So I'd love to hear from you guys. If you ever, what do you do when you feel discouraged? When you feel like I've set this goal and it's just not happening? How do you feel like you react to that? What is something that you do maybe to get yourself back on track? I would love to hear what you guys tend to do or how you guys feel about it even, because I mean, it's a thing, right? So while I'm waiting for you, because there's this delay that goes on in the lives and stuff, I wanted to bring out something that I thought was really cool. I heard this, I believe it was with Bob Proctor. I love listening to Bob Proctor. Highly recommend him on YouTube. But he had said something about we tend to take a piece of our life, and that's what we judge our life by. When in reality, it's just a snapshot of where we are. Like if you've gone on vacation to the beach or to Disney World or a family reunion or just any place, right? You take pictures when you go, and then you go back and you look at those pictures. You're not there anymore, right? That was just a picture in time. And so those days that we feel discouraged and we feel frustrated because we're not where we think we should be, that's just a snapshot in time. Brooke, I try to pick a smaller goal that is more achievable to do first. Absolutely. That is an excellent idea. And I do that all the time with my kids. When I shared, when I did my workshop earlier today, I was talking about my daughter who has struggled with math. And we're kind of trying to catch up. So she's trying to take a little bit of a heavier load to get to where her grade level is. And the load was a little too heavy. So we had to kind of back up and make it a smaller goal, and then we can work our way up. So I really like that. Anna says, I try to keep perspective. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. All the goals are stepping stones. That is amazing. Yes, they are stepping stones. And the really cool thing about goal setting, which is not where I was heading with this, but the really cool thing about goal setting is when you have this massive goal, this big goal that you want to reach, backing it up and then taking the steps like Anna said. That's an amazing way to reach goals. But as far as your mindset when you're not reaching those goals, I like that you guys kind of back up and figure it out from there. But it's also where that lasso comes in, of lassoing our mindset, getting back to, okay, this is the reality. You know, because we didn't reach this goal doesn't mean that I'm not a good teacher, or that my class is not paying attention, or what have you. It just means in this moment, we need to fix some things. So it's more of one of those, it's like a caution sign. Hey, pay attention. You know, we need to change some things. And backing up, I break the goal down in steps. Yes, that's perfect, Marianne. I like it. So we can adjust our goals, and we can, you know, start from that point forward and build our confidence. One of the other things that I did with my daughter is when I had switched curriculums, and when I did the placement test, she tested behind her grade level, and I actually went back an extra grade. And because she struggled so much with math, going back to that extra grade, she was able to do big chunks a day because she knew that stuff. And what it did was it built her confidence. So sometimes we do need to take a step back and reevaluate, and maybe go a little bit slower. And, you know, that way we can gain that confidence back, and we can have more confidence and strength to go forward. So another thing that I find, especially with homeschoolers, and I would imagine as teachers, you probably deal with this as well, is comparing. So especially like if there's 4 fourth grade classes, and one class is here and another class is here, and then you're going, I'm not doing as much as this other class is. Is that really the point? Is it a competition? And I think that's a huge thing. Maybe it's a bigger thing with homeschoolers. I don't know. But what it does is it gets you feeling, am I doing enough? Am I doing the right things? Am I doing enough? And again, we're doubting ourselves again. What do we know about ourselves as teachers, whether we're homeschoolers or we're public school or we're private school teachers? What do we know about ourselves? We are doing what we love doing, right? And so in doing that, we are doing the best possible job that we can. I mean, we love it. We do the best that we can. And we have to go back to that truth that we are human, and that we are doing the best that we can, and where those adjustments need to be made, that can really be helpful to make those adjustments so that we gain that confidence back. Anna says, I wish that more of us talked about our struggles and acknowledged that we all do not meet our goals, and that's okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I, when I share in my group, I'm always like, I tattle on myself all the time. I've been homeschooling for 21 years, and I've had my share of, oh my gosh, why did I do that? And I've had my share of, I really should have taken care of that in another way. I have learned so much from my kids, watching my kids, and sometimes making them struggle and getting upset with myself because I know that I didn't have to do that. But learning how to approach it from a different perspective. Brooke says there's definitely a lot of pressure to meet certain standards and make sure that we hit specific things. Yes, there is. And I'd like to know more about that, Brooke, because I understand that part of it. I have friends that are teachers. I have had friends that are teachers for years. And I know that. So how do you deal with when there is that standard that has to be met, and doing it the way that is normally done isn't working? I'd love to know how you cope with that, and how you switch gears to make it happen. So the thing is that each year we get a unique classroom. Again, whether it's a homeschooling classroom or a public school or a private school, we get a unique classroom. The makeup of the kids is different. The dynamic of the kids is different. I have had, I started out homeschooling too with a toddler and pregnant with a baby. And right now I am homeschooling 3. I have a senior, I have a 7th grader and a 4th grader, and then I've got my 1-year-old grandson. So never a dull moment in our house for sure, but it definitely changes the dynamic each year even, because as the kids get older and that kind of thing. So the dynamic is always changing in the classroom, and each year I think needs to be met in a different way from a different perspective. And I think that as long as we are able to be teachable, even by our students, and learning how they learn best, I think that we can always be successful from that perspective. And just keeping that in mind, that just because we're tuning into the cues of the kids in the classroom doesn't mean that we don't know what we're doing. It just actually means, I feel like it means more that we do know what we're doing, because we're letting them kind of guide how things go, still within those standards, if that makes sense. So another area that I have seen, especially with homeschoolers, is motivating and getting the kids to focus. So how do you do that especially with a room of 25 or 30 kids? When I was, oh gosh, this was years ago. This was in 1993. I was blessed to have a friend that was a teacher of 4th and 5th grade combined dropout prevention kids. And he needed a volunteer in his class. And so, sure, why not? I jumped in. And that was probably the most eye-opening year that I ever have had in my life. Even with all the other things I've done with therapy, it was very, very eye-opening, because this particular teacher was absolutely amazing with these kids. Brooke says, I usually try to bring in extra support. Yeah, so that the student who is struggling gets the help they need. In a different way, even if it puts me behind in my schedule a little bit. Yeah, I think that's awesome. We need teachers to do that, really. I mean, so this teacher brought me in as a volunteer, and to watch him interact with these kids, and like Brooke just said, just doing things like, I call it going rogue when I do it with my homeschool kids, but just doing things just off the beaten path, because this is how it's working for these kids in this moment. And when we can do that, when we meet the kids where they're at, it's like there's this give and take that happens. I have taught my own children. I teach at a co-op as well. And then one of the positions that I held as a therapist was in a boys group home. And while I didn't teach academics, we did a lot of group sessions and that kind of thing. And so it always changed depending on the kids that were in the house at the time, to how we could do things. Sometimes it was playing basketball out on the basketball court rather than sitting in a circle on the floor. I mean, we have done everything. Actually, one of the last things we did was take a nature walk, and that was absolutely the funniest thing ever. And it was so healing, because there were some kids who were not getting along, but going on that nature walk, they just started goofing off, and all of a sudden they were getting along. It was way cool. Yes, going rogue. Yes, yeah, that's one of my things. Yeah. But being able to do those different things with the things that work for that group of children, that dynamic that's in there, that is absolutely huge. And it builds our confidence when we can do that. It builds the kids' confidence, because the thing is that our kids are learning, whether they're our children or they're kids in the classroom, they learn from watching us. So how do we face our challenges? How do we react when we're not reaching the goals that we set out? How do we handle disappointment or frustration, or, getting the class back into, after a fire drill or something, getting them all back into the same place of where they need to be? And one of the things that I have found that has been really, really helpful has been to recognize that I can do hard things. That has been huge for me, because I know, like I said, as a therapist in that group home, when I'm homeschooling my kids, really no matter what we're doing, there's always going to be something that's challenging. And working our mindset around to that place where we know in our toes I can do hard things is absolutely huge. And I actually did this in my workshop earlier today. I was like, okay, so I can do hard things. I want you guys to say it out loud, like for real, even here, say it out loud. I can do hard things. And when you know it in your toes, put it in the comments. And then I want you to tell me how that felt, because it was amazing in the group earlier. And I mean, I know how I feel when I say it. I know how I feel when I start to say it, and then it starts to build and I can feel it. And those are the things that make changes in us when we add the emotion to what we're speaking or to what we're believing. When we add that emotion, that's like the cement that keeps it settled, and then the other stuff can just. Tracy says, I can do hard things. Yes, you go, girl. So how does it make you feel when you say that? When you get that emotion in with that mindset, with that affirmation, it changes everything. It changes your energy. It changes how you think and how you feel and how you treat other people. It changes how you teach. It changes how you react when the kids are sitting and doing their work and when they're running around the room. It changes everything, I promise you. So what do? I feel empowered the more I say it. Yes, it is amazing. It is amazing. And if, I can't see you, so if you want to run around your room while you're while you're saying it, totally cool. Because if I could and the camera would follow me, I would go. Because I really am getting excited just saying it again. So what happens though when you kind of lose track and you realize, I'm going down the wrong road with my mindset, I need to get back into it? So there's 4 steps that I do. I like the step thing. I like to do a checklist kind of thing, and they're not linear. Sometimes they go back around and I have to back up and go to 2 and keep going. But there's 4 steps in this. The first one is to identify the limiting belief. And for me, just being honest, I feel that it gives me permission to try hard things without fear. Beautiful. I love that, Tracy. That is awesome. Yes. Oh, that's amazing. That is so cool. So, so the first step is to identify the limiting belief. And because I do tattle on myself often, one of my limiting beliefs tends to be that I'm missing something. I don't have everything I need, or I'm missing something. And if I let that fester, it becomes ugly. I become ugly. I get grouchy and just yuck. So identify that limiting belief, and then identify a positive belief that is like its polar opposite. So for me, my affirmation is, I have everything I need. And again, I'm matching that, putting that emotion with it, and picturing myself having everything I need, picturing myself solving this problem or this issue or this situation being what I want it to be. I spend time meditating on that and adding that emotion to it because it cements it and it gets it in there. Yes, thank you, Anna, for putting the steps in. So do that. So you identify the negative, and then you identify the positive, meditate on it, and add that emotion to it, and just keep doing that. When you think about it throughout the day, stop. Nope, that's not it. This is it. And that's the other piece. That's the third step to it, is no judgment. If you catch yourself going back in that negative mindset, there is no judgment. It's not, and I'll be honest with you, I get up in the morning and it's like somebody dumps a bucket of negative on my head before I get out of bed. Because I wake up and I'm like, and this, and I got this wrong, and I did, and if I just lay there, it gets worse. So I've learned that I wake up and I get out of the bed, and then I can start right in that moment. Okay, so fine, those thoughts were here. I acknowledge they were here. I'm not sticking my head in the sand and pretending they don't exist. And then I don't judge myself. I acknowledge it, and then I let it go. I replace it with this positive. I do have everything I need. I have everything I need to get everything done today. If y'all saw my schedule today, and I know you guys are busy, so you would totally get it. If you saw my schedule today, you'd be like, holy cow. But it is what it is, and I'm getting through it because I woke up this morning and I said, I have everything I need to get through my day today. So 1 is identify the limiting belief. 2 is the positive belief to replace it. 3, no judgment, acknowledge it and let it go. And then 4, celebrate your success. That is the big piece. That takes that picturing yourself there and that emotion, and it just skyrockets it because you are celebrating you. Write it down, tell a friend, put it in this group or some other group that you're in, but get it out there that I met a goal. Even if it was just for 30 seconds, you met that goal. That is huge because, again, we're adding emotion to it. And we add that emotion, it just cements it a little bit deeper. So those are the 4 steps: identifying the negative, identifying the positive to replace it, no judgment, acknowledge it and let it go. And step 4, celebrate that success and make it big. Make it big. You deserve it. We are going to move forward the more that we believe in ourselves and the more confidence that we have in ourselves. And it starts with our mindset. Our minds are the most amazing, amazing things ever. And the more that we work on our mindset and we create our world by thinking positive and picturing ourselves where we want to go, it really, I promise you, it really, really does work. Wow, yeah, I'm telling you, it really works, right? So the key to lassoing your mindset is never give up. Never give up. Put that in the comments. Never give up. Never give up. No matter how bad it gets, no matter how big the bucket of negative that's fallen on your head, no matter the crap that's going on in life, in this moment, in your life, in the world, whatever, the reality is, you never give up, you will meet your goals. And that's that mindset, that's that determination, that's the courage, because teaching these kids is not just about academics. Yes, we have standards we have to meet. Yes, we have to do these certain things. We have to have these classes. We have to have these grades. They have to pass these tests. Yes, Anna, never give up. And yes, we have to do all of these things, but it's not just about the academics. These kids are our future. And when they can walk out of our classrooms, yes, Brooke, never give up. When they can walk out of our classrooms and they can know that they can make their world what they want it to be. And look, I have been a therapist with kids in a group home. I know what some of these kids come out of. But it takes one person, that's research founded, one person to believe in them, just one. There are some amazing videos out there about that. Just takes that one person. So be that person to learn how to master your mindset, how to lasso your mindset so that you can teach these kids that we have every day in our classroom. We can teach them how to lasso their mindset, and it will make a difference in their lives. I really, really strongly encourage that. I do have a group. It's called Working Mom's Homeschool Journey. And I know y'all are educators in a school system or whatever, but you are absolutely welcome to join. It's Working Mom's Homeschool Journey on Facebook, and I would love to have you. I'm doing a workshop this week that I believe would be helpful for you guys, even as teachers, even though you don't necessarily teach at home, although some of you might be doing that too, right? We juggle a lot of hats these days. But yeah, we'll be talking more about that this week, about facing fears and about determining our purpose and learning how to collaborate. That's another big one. So I would love to have you for the workshop. It would be absolutely amazing. But the more we work on our mindset, the more we focus on keeping ourselves moving forward towards our goals. This is what we're teaching the kids that we teach as well. They're watching us. So that is all I have for you guys tonight. I truly, truly appreciate you guys being here and letting me be here, Anna and Mallory. And I hope that you guys have been blessed. Again, the Working Mom's Homeschool Journey is the name of my group on Facebook, and I would love to have you join us, especially for the workshop this week. And I hope you guys have a blessed rest of the week, and I will see you guys Thursday. Bye for now.